30 years ago, the world ended as a celestial talisman hung in the sky, bringing death and destruction. Heroes gather, but they are not the heroes of the tales of old. They are a new breed, because when the world has ended, surviving makes you a hero.
And welcome to Stealing Survival, our Dungeons and Dragons game here on Travis Tavern Talk. Quick bit of intro, and then we're going to get right to the game. We had an exciting ending last time, and I myself am damn interested in getting back into it. Let's see here. Trigger warning, adult language, adult content, and so on. We are recording a live show here on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk. That will become a podcast, so for the people in chat, just realize that we might not get to all the comments, but we appreciate your input. And for those of you on the podcast, realize we have a live audience here in chat that interacts with us, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Okay, I think I will introduce myself. Again, I am Travis Sivart, author of the Portal series and Harbinger Book 1 of Downfall, which take place in this same world. So let's just move around. We'll start in the lower left with Chris in his pub-like atmosphere. Very nice background, man.
Thanks. I'm Chris, and I will be playing Julian Cavington, the half-Athene wizard.
Very good. Just above him is John Millington.
I'm John. I'm be playing Balder Sapati, half demon investigator of odd things. I'm from Jersey's Cards and Comics and Conquest Publishing. Check us out on the web.
Upper right, Aaron Kennedy.
Hi, Aaron Kennedy, author extraordinaire of Persona non grata, First the Ships of Valor series. Currently working on Icarus Black. I'll be playing Murph the Ranger.
Very good. And then our long-lost sister in adventure, Andrea Lachat.
Hi, Andrea Lachat here. I play Lolly. She is a time-traveling gypsy thespian wannabe Rocairn.
Very good. Okay, that all translates to Bard. Anyhow, I don't know why people hate Bards so much, but we'll find out later this episode, won't we?
Hey.
If you do
There's
your
some
job,
people that don't hate bards. They've never met one.
Okay, I also want to ask our viewing audience here, what are you guys playing? What game are you into or doing or writing? And for those of you listening to the podcast, you can email us at stealingforsurvival@gmail.com. And that's stealing with 2 E's, as in stealing yourself, not as in thieving. Come on, move, cat. Sorry, cat. Okay, so we need a recap for our last show. Chris, do you got a recap for us, buddy?
I do. Last time on Stealing for Survival,
Yeah.
our intrepid band of adventurers, with the help of the Poorhouse crew, were sent to the depths of... Oh crap! What city are we in?
Dathon's Pass. You're doing great.
Yeah, Dathon's Pass, where recent mining expeditions recently uncovered a coal iron temple of some sort. Through convincing and sort of bribing, but not having to bribe the mining foreman, they entered into the ruins, where they discovered several murals and things indicating some sort of summoning ritual that happens every time the talisman comes by. They then entered into a large dining chamber where, sitting in a chair at the end of the hallway, was some sort of ghastly dark iron, coal iron, Rocairn ghost thing. And that's where we left off.
There we go. To add to it, just to clarify a little bit on this room, it's more of a throne room. There is a large table in the center with what looks like remains of kind of bloody chunks of this and that. But yeah, it's not actually a dining hall of any sort here. So let's see if I can get you another description. As you're facing it, it's longer, it's wider than it is long. There's a raised platform with a very grim throne atop it. There's a table. There is the armored statues on the sides. There is holes in the ground that have drainage grates that have been knocked off of them. Whether something was going in them or coming out of it, it's unsure. But yeah, on the wooden table, you can see dried blood and other such things. There were armored figures, 2 on the north wall, 2 on the south wall, using somebody who has underground stuff. That'd be Aaron's character there. And then the 2 iron grates open up in the floor. They are circular and they're wide enough for somebody to drop in, but not comfortably. And not necessarily a huge person. So, now, as this ghostly spectral figure snaps like he's like a blanket in the wind, I believe I used the term last time, like he's not all there physically and possibly other ways, there is a crackle of energy from the hall behind you. Remember all those runes and things on the wall that talks about all the things that they do here and the conversion of the energy? Well, something really weird just happened behind you guys. Or perhaps I should say something really weird happened upon you guys. As you spin
Was it me?
it is. It is. As you spin, there is, for a moment, you think it's a coal iron dwarf. Or Rocairn, sorry, don't mean to be demeaning there. And use the D word. But Lolly, why don't you give a description of yourself and a really good reason they should not fear you. Something that works you in with these guys.
Because she's a dwarf and they're not scary.
Oh my goodness. Well,
No pressure.
I don't know. Yeah, no pressure. I don't know. What happened?
So, why don't you start with a little description of what you look like?
I don't know.
How tall are you? What are you wearing?
Nothing. Some boots. No, I don't.
Okay, Lolly is a female Rocairn. Lightly bearded, is that correct? And
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've looked
No,
at
when
her.
you say lightly bearded, like Chris, yes?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's,
For Rocairn, yes.
Well, I'm just clarifying for the audience.
and she's wearing gypsy-like clothing, skirts if I'm not mistaken, and
Oh, like yourself.
on certain days, on the right day, that's true. And what about the rest of you? Why don't you guys give her a quick description so she knows what the rest of you look like there too? Aaron?
Mer-
Okay. Nope. Go first.
Murph is tall, very rigid brows, very skeletal, but not unmuscular, but just kind of protruding, like something's not quite right.
Mm.
Wearing leathers, cloak.
Very
Everything's
good.
drawn back, kind of open. One arm is currently hidden inside the cloak.
Pass it
Not
to
necessarily aggressive, just that way.
And when you're done, Aaron, pass it to somebody else by just shouting out their
Chris?
name.
Chris! Go, Chris, go! Go!
Julian is, thin, dark brown hair, the 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there. In a long rugged leather jacket and a hat on. now that Travis pointed it out, I can't not see it. The Hugh Jackman Van Helsing, very similar.
And then Baldareth.
Ball's relatively short. He's about 5'4". He's wearing a probably leather armor, but it's underneath the hood, the traveling cloak. You might spot the horns. He's got a darkish brown reddish skin, and he's currently moving towards your left hand side in a semicircle.
Now, you guys have hung out in the poorhouse long enough. You've heard stories of Lolly. You heard of her missing. You heard of her also chasing the portal network. That's where she was last lost, is during that. And this figure in front of you definitely resembles that. She has that, slightly vacant look, that little bit lost look, a bit of a mischievous smile, and she smells of mint.
We've heard of a female dwarf, and this appears to be a female dwarf, and there is only one at any given time in all the realms.
Yeah, and they're all me. You know.
Because she travels.
She gets around.
Well, I believe elves come from eggs, right?
Or cabbages. She is holding some kind of metal box which is blinking with gentle light, some sort of magical device, and it is pointing straight at you. And she's grinning broadly. And she points right at you and goes, "Well, there you guys are."
I've been looking for you.
Now, are you using you, the collective, or you, a specific individual?
Hey, yous guys.
Hey, use guys. The two yous.
Does the ghostly apparition of the coal iron do anything at Lolly's appearance?
His previous reaction, that big reaction he was giving right before we ended the last game, was in direct reaction to her appearance behind you. Now that, she's appeared, when you saw him reacting, you were focused on that, and you heard the noise behind you as he was reacting, spinning to look at that. So now you have possibly a mythical hero who has saved the world multiple times. Just ask her, she'll tell you. Multiple times.
In interpretive dance.
That's true. And you also have an angry spirit behind you in the throne having a small fit.
Which one's which?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
So now we're going to
What?
take... Go ahead.
The spirit talking in a language that we understood?
The spirit didn't vocalize. It looked
Gotcha.
like it was trying to speak, but no sound was coming. So
Gotcha.
it's like a film from the 30s or 20s.
And the area in front of him turned blank and words appeared. It was very strange. Grand.
Yeah, she's gestured at the three of you, went, "There you are. I finally found you," or "I've been looking for you," or "Hey, your fly's down." She said something.
Hey, yous guys.
That's
There
right.
you are.
All right then. Who are you? And you. Yeah, I've got nothing.
Whereas,
Lolly.
you hear her?
Lolly.
Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to take a moment and pause there. The big guy's got his hand under his cloak. The other guy with that one horn sticking out is moving to Andrea's left, everybody else's right, possibly looking like he wants to circle around.
I do have my umbrella.
Ah, an umbrella, a strange device not quite known in this land.
Strangely enough, the parasol is.
But I have my umbrella ready, so if they start any shit, I'm prepared.
Well, then. All right.
Well,
So
We,
if you're
we look like we're gonna
lolly-
start ship, but it's not directed at you.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, well, Baldereth might start some shit. Great. If I recall, the guys back at the pool house were talking about Lolly. A Lolly, I do believe. And you say you're her, correct?
Yes,
Jules,
that's me.
point of order.
Yes. I'm getting back to that.
A little bit more important, I think.
For the time being, it's
Speed it up.
all right, fine. And I will turn around and walk forward and go, "Oh, mighty lord of the underground, who might you be?"
The ghastly white, translucent form stands up on the throne, and it looks like he's either berating or threatening you, but there is no sound. And he jerks forward, but only to the top step. He doesn't even step down. And you can see him just shaking his fist and waving his hands as he just launches into this tirade. And he's jabbing a finger towards you. And he points over you at her. And just, he goes on.
She's eating popcorn out of something. I can hear her munching in the background.
Have detect magic on, so anything around me is still glowing that is magical. FYI.
Oddly enough, the device in her hands, now that you've remembered to look for that and you can see the glow of necromancy around this creature, the device in her hand did not glow at all. It has no magic.
But she's got some glowy bits on her. I'm sure.
Her
Yeah, I
umbrella
do.
is
Like her umbrella.
glowy. Mm-hmm.
Grand. I'm sorry, sir. I cannot understand you. There's no sound coming this way. Do you have a problem with the new lady?
He pulls a hand axe from his belt on his side and he throws it at you.
Oh, it's on. And that's when the sword goes flying.
The hand axe disappears as it crosses the bottom step. Roll to hit with that flying sword.
That's a nice. Don't check this.
I'll try and duck, but you know.
Julian collapses to the ground, throwing his hands over his head and squeaking. Which, by the way, I think is a perfectly normal reaction to somebody launching a hand axe suddenly at you. Especially a ghost.
It is. It is. That is. Should be a 14.
14. It flies true, surprisingly, throwing a sword with the penalty that you would get, because it's not necessarily made for this sort of thing. But it
That's
flies
short sword.
through
It's light.
him, clanks off the back of the throne-like chair up on the dais, and clatters to the seat. The spirit seems to have calmed down a little bit, and he sits back down, not even noticing the sword. You could see it jutting from his thigh, not like it's stuck in him, but just like he's
Laying down.
an apparition sitting on his throne, and the sword is laying flat on it and hanging off the edge, and it's sticking out of his thigh. Not straight
That's
up and
not
down.
a
It's
sword.
laying on the seat.
Yeah.
So, I will get up, look around that I am not been impaled by an axe. And start in. I'd like to investigate along the front edge of the stairs to see if there's any magical rune things that are keeping him on that side, us
Very
on
good.
this side.
So you're moving further into the room, around the ancient bloodied table, and as you step past one of the gratings, one of those round gratings, You hear a squishy, sloshy noise within it, but it's not a constant noise. It's like sudden movement of something in something. And you move past the table and around it, looking over your shoulder behind you to make sure nothing's
Great.
coming out of the grating. And to the stairs, yes. As you get closer, what's your light source again? Because the glowing walls behind you is fading.
I mean, I have dark vision out to 60 feet.
Okay. With the dim light behind you, you'll be able to make out. Yeah, there is more of that magical rune-like language on the walls, on the kick plate, the vertical surfaces of the stairs. Now, give me a second. Let's turn to Baldareth and Lolly.
I'm just merely trying to sneak up behind her.
Now, move behind her or like sneak up behind her?
Sneak up behind her.
There is the glow in the hallway that will make that very challenging.
He thinks he's sneaking.
Well, let's do this. Go to make it a disadvantage here, John. Andrea, I'd like you to give me a kind of perception roll there.
18.
Be a wisdom roll with any kind of bonus you get for perception.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
5.
That was 18 with disadvantage.
Correct.
Oh, nice. Well done.
I have a crappy roll. That was
Well, Lolly
Someone
is,
built a spell.
there's always a disorientation after you suddenly travel, through time and dimensions. So you're very captivated by these other two men who are facing off what's obviously a ghostie, or an angry spirit, or that thing your old aunt used to tell you about and the reason she doesn't date anymore. It's one of those three things. But yeah, the
talk about that.
younger man has moved up to the stairs and is squatting down at 3 or 4 feet away, not getting right up on it, and looking at something on the base of the stairs. The big guy is kind of exactly where he was in the doorway, kind of splitting his attention between you and this other thing, but more so the other thing. And Lolly, what are you doing? You're standing in a wide hallway. It's about 10 foot across. Just so you know, I'll use paces. So a pace is approximately 1 yard, 1 meter, whatever. So if I say 3 paces, we're looking at about 10 feet across, just for rough translation. And the room that you're facing into, where one of the men is far into it, the other one is only a few feet from you, and the third one is, well, you don't know where he buggered off to, but directly ahead of you, a throne up on about 6 steps. So the floor is probably, well, chest height for you, waist height for a normal grown human. To the left is a wall that's got 2 statues on it. To the right, there is also 2 statues, and there is a tunnel or a passageway leading that way. And I have been using cardinal directions. That would be the south, the one with the passageway. And there are 2 gratings about this round on the floor that have been knocked off of it. One is partially covering the hole, one is totally off the hole. And, yeah.
And there's something coming through it?
No, nobody else heard that noise except for Julian there. I'll let you jump in when you're ready. Okay? Yes.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything because I don't know what's going on, so
Okay.
I'm just there.
Yes.
So-
there, Murph.
So, Lolly, you were looking for us?
Hmm?
Any particular
I know you're
reason?
friends. We have mutual friends.
Oh. You know Roy?
It's Uncle Roy?
Yes!
Uncle Roy.
Seen him recently? Well, of course not recently. When did you see him last?
We don't speak of that.
Oh, okay. Ah, part of the illicit sketch issue.
And John, you just let me know if Baldareth does something. Otherwise, I'm considering you lurking behind everybody.
Oh no,
Well, I
I know that the advantage of the heroes are that they have things, and we don't. So, as soon as she starts giggling or talking with Murph, I'm going to try to filch something.
Okay. Now,
So Archimedes, who's been on my shoulder the whole time, I'll lean over and go act cute and investigate the new lady. And he will turn around and fly off towards Lolly.
Lolly, how
Is
do
it
you
like a
feel
bug coming at me? What the hell?
How do you feel about small owls that wear hats from Firefly?
Oh, I'm gonna put that in my pocket.
He'll probably land like a foot or two in front of you and start being all cute and doing that owl thing where they turn their head from one side to the other and hop forward and hop back and hop a little closer and hop back, do the head thing.
Trying to steal stuff, you know.
What role did you get, Baldareth?
Well, I can't roll any higher than that, so
And whenever you guys have a roll coming up, even if I turn away from you, go to make that roll. Have that ready for
27.
27. Now, here's what I am going to say. Coming up to somebody in a dimly lit hallway and grabbing something off of them, subtly, you're going to get away with it, but it is going to break your stealth at this time, since...
Well, no, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get behind her and turn around back to back and then bump into her, and whatever I put in front of me, I'm going to put down my pants
Uncle
And then
Roy.
to turn around and apologize.
Perfect. That works fine with... I was just saying your stealth would be noticed at that point.
Oh, that's fine.
But yes, you do snatch something off of her, and we'll have to rummage through her character sheet later and tell you what that is, unless if you're just chomping at the bit to know right this second.
I was gonna say, because of what my skill set is, do I realize?
No, not with a 27.
Oh,
Yeah, he did really well there. So that's
I apologize, madam. Master Julian, can I take you up to the group? Seem lost?
I think I'm missing my diaphragm.
I'll open up my pants.
Or your sponge.
Put my arm out.
to guide her into your pants or to give her something. What do you?
Whoa!
I didn't go there, but hey,
I tripped. She fell on my. Oh.
follow me, madam.
Yeah. Where are we going?
Point
When?
towards Master Julian.
He's
I pick up
directing
the
you
little
forward
owl.
into the room. Oh, you pick up the owl.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah, he's like nuzzling all into your hands, being super cute.
It's gonna eat my face later, you know.
Nah, probably not.
Man, I wish that worked in bars.
I gotta pay him off. He wants a portion of the whatever it is.
It's true.
He'll like hop to your shoulder and like nuzzle on your face.
Get out of my beard.
So
Okay, so we would walk over to Julian.
Noises. Almost like a purr, but if it was an owl.
now, as Baldareth guides Lolly past the table, well, past the grates, then past the table, Murph, what are you doing as he does this? Murph,
No.
hold on just a second. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I just watched friggin' him escorting her back. I'm just like trying to get there. He stole something. He watched it because I see all this because he just walks up behind her.
No, you actually didn't see him lift.
No, I had my
No, I
back.
didn't see him lift. I see him walk behind it. I know he lifted something. I didn't see him do
The
it. though.
odds are probably there, yes. The
Yeah,
tendency
because I
is
know him.
definitely
He's
there.
a little sneak thief.
Right. Right. So the possibility, though you didn't actually see it, yeah. It would
I'm
make
literally going like this, going.
sense. Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally bowing down, just going.
Um,
I'm gonna have to untie him again. I'm
Well-
trying not to laugh my ass off. Is really what I'm doing at this
Dareth,
point. There's a
Murph,
ghostly apparition. He's walking across there. I didn't hear the sloshing sounds. I'm
Well-
trying to figure out.
can I, if I may,
Oh, go ahead.
Murph, Lolly,
Hmm?
Baldareth, each of you make a perception roll as Baldareth guides Lolly past that grating.
16.
20.
13.
Murph, you don't catch this. But you, Baldareth, and Lolly, was that a natural 20 or?
No.
Okay, and again to clarify, if you have guys ever get a natural 20, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, but this is not natural.
Good enough.
These are, but that wasn't.
And they're 20s because they're
It's a
two
dirty
10s.
20.
What?
Said it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Damn you. Yeah. Baldareth and Lolly, you hear the squishy noises from down the grating.
Can I see what's down it?
Baldareth stops and looks down. What kind of vision do you have?
Dark vision.
There is. It looks like this grating has about a 5-6 foot drop and opens up into some similar, smaller, 3 foot wide something, possibly some kind of sewer line or waste management system. And there is something squiggly and tentacular, about the size of a large cat or a medium dog, that ducks back down into the sludge below the hole.
Do I see that?
Only if you lean over and look when he stops to look down the grating. So for me, this camera shot is from above, and you just see the little multiple, like more than 3 tentacle-like movements disappear from the camera shot, and then 2 faces come up into the round hole above you. A bearded one
I
and a
will.
horny one.
I will
Cut it out.
utter something in infernal, and I'll try to make the surface of the water rumble, because I can make the ground move and stuff to see if it get a reaction out of whatever that is that's down there.
So you mean the liquidy sludge-like stuff underneath
Yes.
in the hole? Very good.
Yes, and
So, and that's a cantrip, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
yep, it's thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy?
Yep.
Cool. I like big words. I cannot lie.
And it might be wiggling next to my fly. I don't know what I stole.
So you look over your shoulder there, Julian, and you see that Baldareth, your manservant, whether you like it or not, leading this bearded legendary hero towards you, and then they both stop and look down and move back and look directly down the uncovered hole. This is a hole where the grating is totally off. And you can see the slight movement as Baldareth does his bewitched thing. And then there is a high-pitched squeal. And what Baldareth sees as he makes the sludge and the mud wiggle and shake and jiggle, like a Jello that hasn't set yet, but almost has.
Is that a voice, or is it? I mean, is it like a language, or is
Animalistic
it just
type
a?
noise.
Good, just
Just a
clarify.
high pitch, classic sci-fi horror movie, but much longer, and it sounds like multiples. And
Good to go, giant parrots.
Baldareth,
Oh, he heard it. Don't hurt it.
Lolly, those little tentacly movements that you saw down there, you now see many, many tentacles attached to multiple bodies boiling up out of this hole in the ground.
boiling up? Like
Lovely.
Like
it's like
again,
lava?
You know that hole, that view of the camera from the hole? There's just things coming up now.
Oh, are they
Imagine
cute?
face huggers from Alien if they had tentacles instead of claw-like little arms.
Oh, I was picturing cats with
No.
tentacles. Never mind.
Madam, please step to the side.
I will step back.
I
Initiative,
put the
everyone.
table over on top of the hole.
Initiative, everyone.
Six.
20.
13.
8. Oh, 1 second.
So we had a 6, an 8, a 13, and a 20. So I believe Lolly had the 6, and Aaron had the 8, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then Julian had the 13. Okay.
Correct.
Yes. Baldareth, you react quickly as these things start to bubble up, if you will. And you grab that grating, if I'm understanding your actions right, and sliding it back over the hole. Is that
Well,
correct?
is the table enough to? Is it too big for me to turn it over on top of the hole?
Um,
I use whichever one's more convenient, but the table looks sturdier, probably
grating-
more solid.
would be quicker and easier because it's right there. The table is, you'd have to move 2 strides away, grab it, manhandle it, flip it, drag it over.
Yeah, grating it is.
But that would be a great idea for the next move. But yeah, you
You
grab.
might wish to move the table on top of the grating.
Yeah, that one you wouldn't even have to flip. You could put the legs of the table, considering it's like the picnic table type legs. That's one solid wide piece underneath. Well, 2 solid wide pieces, and the cross beam going between them. Okay, first you grab the grating, slide it over it, and the things slam into the grating. But before we do anything else, Julian, what are you doing?
Yes. Oh,
Anything?
well, I'm kind of like, what is going on? Looking back and forth between the guy in the seat, see if he's doing anything.
He is leaning
And
forward,
look-
one hand on his knee and his chin in his hand, and he has a smirk on his face.
Great. I guess there was not enough time to glean any knowledge from the runes there.
No.
Well, you see Baldareth pull the grate over the thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't really do anything.
Perhaps standing up and turning towards it.
Yeah, and I will ready a firebolt so that if I see tentacle creatures actually make their way out of the ground, I will throw a firebolt.
Very
Got
good.
it.
You've got the incantation on your lips and your finger in your pouch. I don't actually if you need I don't actually know if you need anything, but your finger in your pouch, big guy. Instinctive reaction. Now, yeah, the things hit the grate bounces, and Baldareth pushes down on it, making sure it stays in place, and then jerks back as probably 8 different little tentacled arms, about 18 inches long each, flare out of it, reaching around, and you can see soft, squishy bodies attached to these things, and some of the tentacles have kind of large, flat pads on them. Not all of them, just some of them. Now,
Would you call these aberrations, sir?
maybe, but not to their face. That's just rude. It's a.
Just clarifying.
Give me just a second.
So
Let me
Because it may come into play.
Arms.
say again there, Chris.
So legitimately tentacles, because tentacles have flat pads on them where arms do not.
Here we go. It's
If we're talking about cephalopods.
well, we're talking about something, and we're talking about them right in front of us.
What?
That's rude.
What if it's an aberration, as in a utterly alien being?
Yes.
It's my favorite enemy.
Of course it is. This worked out great for you. Yes, I would
I
call
know,
it an
strangely enough.
aberration. Yes, aberration. What are you doing? Your turn.
I am pulling out my other short sword and one of my daggers, and I am pokey pokey.
Okay. So, Murph glides forward, drawing his weapons as he does, slashing at them. I'm waiting for dice rolls. Baldareth stepping back after forcing the grate back down. What'd you get there?
20 on one attack,
Very good.
and a 14 on the second attack.
Very good. And that's with all adjustments for two weapons and one.
That is with
correct?
all
Very good.
adjustments.
Yeah, you slash across and give me some damages.
Okie dokie. I will assume a 14 hits them at this point then?
Correct.
All right, that's what I need to know. That's
Why do I have that ability?
Hmm?
Is it because I'm a half elf?
Lolly, I'll be going to you next if you want to kind of come up with something in your head that you want to do. Aaron, tell me when you have damage.
Yep, sorry, just had to freaking swap back here to see it. Oh, ooh, 9 on the first one. And if it fell, it would be 5 on the second one, or it just adds on to the first.
You slash through 3 or 4 different tentacles as you swing your sword and your dagger, stab with your dagger, swing with the sword, and you can see some of the tentacles withdraw, and other ones replace it. Now, Lolly,
Well, I'm going to save this little owl that I'm going to put in my pocket.
are you putting it in
Oh, I
your pocket
forgot
right
about-
now, or is that just a future plan?
Oh, I'm going to put him in my pocket.
Great.
When
As
is she ever
Mine
planned
now.
for the future?
As you open your pocket, the owl runs up your arm, and you take it and slide it back down and scoop it towards it, and it runs up the arm and goes around behind your neck and nuzzles in your braids. So she is
I
chasing an
forgot
owl
to
around.
roll initiative for him because he should have his own initiative.
Well,
Um,
he's just going to share your initiative, and basically he's just not being put in a pouch, unless if you want him in her pouch.
Phrasing, sir.
no, he will keep trying to stay outside of the pouch, but he should have his own initiative.
He will share your initiative.
the-
Let's make this easy. I do not need one more initiative to deal with, please.
Great.
He will share your initiative.
Okay.
Is he doing
He won't
something
go in
besides
the pet.
playing with her?
No, not this round
Okay.
because I forgot about
Okay.
him.
See, that's why I'm going to keep him. You just don't care.
Ah.
Okay, he can stay in my hair. I just want to keep him safe because he's cute with his little hat.
Okay. Baldareth?
I move over to the other grate and push it on top of it.
Oh, well done, because you can hear the movement coming towards it. So, yeah, and actually it sounds like movement from the north as opposed to the south. So, the other creatures are in the grating in the southern part of the room. This is the grating in the north part, so it sounds like more of the creatures coming from the northern part of that sewer pipe coming towards you.
You had to boil him.
I did nothing.
No, he didn't heat it. I said they boiled up, as in, just a generalized term of the action that seemed
He
to represent.
agitated the water,
He did.
the sludge.
He stirred the pudding. Or possibly, literally, he stirred the shit.
Oh my god, those shit creatures. That's nasty.
Mm-hmm. It is. So,
How many actual openings are there?
2.
All right.
That's nasty.
Well, I will take a piton and secure that grate so it doesn't pop back off of it again.
Okay. So give me a
Be my-
give me a roll. It could be an attack roll if you want, or it could be some kind of crafting roll if you prefer. Just something that would say, "Hey, I'm using this metal spike to kind of pin this down by jamming it into the stones below."
15.
15. You have one in place. The next round, you'll want to put a second one in at least, and then they'll be upon the grate. But we'll move over here to Julian now.
Great. I will mentally think to Archimedes to help by attacking the tentacles, and he takes the help action to give the next person who attacks them advantage.
Ooh, nice.
Why I freaking love owls and familiars and their actions. He can't actually attack, but he can help.
Very good. So the owl leaps from the rogue cairn to the ground, flapping over next to it, and as Murph stabs and swings his sword again, if that's what you're going to do, he is going to help by pecking at tentacles and appendages and whatnot. So Murph, it is up to you at this point, as these things try to
Well,
push the
that was
grating.
Archimedes' turn, because he takes a turn and then I take a turn. Like, we don't... Or are you combining our turns into one so that I either do things with Archimedes or I do things myself?
No. You each get to do something, but he's assisting, he's helping. So I just
Right.
put him into the place where he can help. Are you doing
Great.
something different?
Yeah, I'm gonna launch a firebolt at the tentacles.
There is your uncle, like, face over the hole. And you, I mean, if you want to, like, step over there, that would be more...
Yeah, I'll get closer.
Yeah, that way you can shoot straight down in it, between his slashes, as opposed to him not even realizing you're about to do this and whatnot. So yeah, moving forward and standing over the hole, Murph drawing back his sword, you fire your firebolt.
Yes.
Now this is like a single lance of fire, correct?
Yes.
Maybe as
it
thick as
is
a
a...
spear.
You hurl a mote of fire at a creature and object within range.
Moat, so about the size of a golf ball or some such thing.
Probably about a baseball, yeah. Somewhere between a golf ball and a baseball.
I have never seen a moat of fire come off a fireplace that's the size of a baseball. But yeah,
Clearly,
It's a
you've
small
never
baseball.
thrown a clump of dryer lint into a fireplace.
well, that's fire lint exploding. But yeah, they're great fire starters.
I don't know. A drop of oil coming off a stove feels like it's the size of a baseball.
that is true.
So that would be a 13 to hit.
It burns into a clump of
And
tentacles.
it does 5 damage.
Very good. Some more tentacles wither and draw back. And Murph?
I will yell, "Jules, my other sword!" as I slash through these guys some more,
Would you do me a favor?
since I can.
Bring your camera up just a smidge. We've only got you from the
Yeah, I
nose
know. I
down.
keep playing with it.
There we go. Yeah, he does.
There we go. All right.
So he yells, "Jules, my other sword," and then he slashes and pokes.
Ooh, nice. That is a 17 and a 16.
Ah, very nice, yes. The creatures fall back,
Less impressive.
literally.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yep. That is a. It's a 5 and a 6.
Very good. It's the ones in the lead dropping back on top of the others, and all of them kind of scurrying and scampering down into the hole. Lolly?
Well, I'm gonna help I guess push the things back. What's the big apparition guy doing?
He is sitting there with his chin in his hand and his elbow on his knee, watching and smirking.
Well, I'm gonna go up to him and be like, "Did you do this?"
Did you do this?
So Lolly took a
Rub
step
his nose
forward
in it.
towards the grating before tossing a glance over her shoulder, and you could see the look on her face is just mild annoyance, as this guy is obviously enjoying the little floor show you guys are putting on. And she walks up and begins berating him and questioning him. One hand on her hip, the umbrella shaking like a giant finger in front of her. It's And he turns to look at you and squints a little bit, and we'll come back to that in a moment. So, Baldareth, you want to put a second pin in that?
I do. 16.
Very good. You feel it's pretty secure. Not that it couldn't be more secure, but it's pretty damn secure.
And I'll use a bonus action to dash over to the table.
Okay. You're at the table with dried blood. Now,
Ew.
are you grabbing it to pull, to move it?
I don't know how actual big the table is. I know it's a large hall, so I might not be able to.
It is probably 6 foot long, 4 foot across, and regular table height in that, waist height.
Okay.
It is thick, stout oak, so it's heavy. The
Okay.
planks themselves are probably 2 inches, 3 inches thick, so it's got some heft and weight to it. Moving it by yourself, it's going to be a struggle. Not that you can't, but it depends how much it's stuck to the floor with dried blood, too.
Ah,
Oh,
So, Julian, Murph, Archimedes, the three of you are standing over an abandoned grate at this point in time. You can hear movements down below, but there's none up at the grating. And then you hear the other grate shift and clang as something hits it. Jerking your head over, you guys had seen Baldareth kind of pinning it shut, nailing it shut. But it seems to be held down.
Well, I will go over to that one.
Well, that one is secured. This one is not.
Uh-huh.
Your call, though.
Uh-huh.
Going
Yep,
over-
I'm still gonna go over there.
Okay.
I'm gonna look down this one. What's it look like down there? And is it?
It looks empty-ish. I mean, there's movement at the edges underneath, but there's nothing up the tube, up the shaft, if you would.
Okay. Based on what stuck up, can I tell what it was? As part of my survival rolls.
Give me a roll. Let's find out.
That would have been a 11.
An
Don't
11.
you have advantage when you try and make knowledge checks against your favorite enemy?
I think Yes, I do have an advantage. Thank you, sir. That is a much better roll. That is a 17.
There you go. It's you've heard of creatures that like living in muck. Sometimes swamps, sometimes dark caverns.
Hey, that's no way to talk about the Rocairn, okay?
Rokans definitely don't hang out in swamps. But yeah,
They don't like being called hags, I know that.
you're sorry, I'm checking a few things here. Okay, so they would be called Otuga. Otug. People fight over how it's pronounced. But yeah, these would definitely be smaller versions than you've ever heard of. Usually they're the size of, I don't know, as opposed to being,
Basketballs?
yeah, ish, but flatterer. Flatter? More flat. And Very good. Now, yes, so they're Autug. That was Murph. Julian, we got you over there. Lolly. Got it. Got it.
Okay. Just making sure.
Are you doing anything else?
Me?
Yes.
I'm waiting to see what that guy's gonna say because he's being a little bitch.
Guessing they're not solitary because we saw 2 of them.
You
But
saw
are
like
they
8 of them.
big packs? Huh?
You saw like 8 of them.
Well, no. Right. Well, I know 2 holes, but I mean, how big of a pack is there normally?
1. But normally they're also the size of a horse.
Of course.
Of course.
This would
We
be.
found a baby nest.
There we go. So, now, as you
Where's
guys
Mama?
look around at each other, look over at Lolly as she's berating a spirit of the dead coal-ironed Rocairn, you hear scraping and banging down that passage to the south. And we're going to end that right here. And
Dun, dun, dun.
that's right. Okay, guys, so here's what I'm going to say. Make sure you join us for the next episode. If you guys want to type in chat, let them know what's going on. We will catch you next time. Let's see our closing stuff before we roll that music and everything. I want to thank everybody who joined us in this, commenting in chat, as well as following, throwing bits, supporting us in all the different ways. Thank you very much. We will catch you again next time.